guys, welcome to my third episode of Behind the Birk. I'm here with Michael Denton.
Hello.
He is currently an intern at Vans. He's a photography intern, so we're going to talk about all that jazz. So, how did you get started? When did you get started at the Vans internship? How did you get interested in the Vans internship, first of all?
Well, I'm just going to bring it back to my early childhood because I feel like it connects to this. So, I've been around photography my whole life. I've been doing it since I was 5 years old. My dad is a retired police officer, but when he first started out, maybe like a couple years after he started at the Modesto PD, he was tasked with starting the evidence unit and photographing pretty much all the evidence that came through. And, so we just always had loose cameras lying around the house, from family vacations, nothing too fancy. And I would just always just play around with them when I was a kid. And then during high school, it was about my junior year, my dad got me my first professional DSLR. And pretty much it's just sailed from there. But as far as Vans goes, I met Ryan Allen. He's a professional photographer, a pretty prestigious skateboarding photographer. And I met him, and so I started nagging him and asking if his wife, Christina, could take me in because she's the head photographer over at Vans.
When did you start nagging him?
Oh, I started nagging him like a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And he finally, just caved in. He's like, all right, whatever. I'll see what Christina says. And I was like,
whatever.
Yeah. After a year and a half of nagging,
Yeah.
he's bound to get annoyed and
Yeah.
cave. So he talked to Christina, and then she was like, all right, I'll see what he's all about. And pretty much I didn't get the job, just like that. I had to turn in about 20 portfolios before she accepted me as
Wow.
her assistant. So, but no, really, I would have taken an assistant photographer's job at any company, but I figured, I consider myself a skateboarder, so why not just do it at a skateboarding company that's local in California? They're based out of LA, so.
Yeah. What did those 20 portfolio? I know they were different in style, but how? What were those 20 portfolios individually?
Oh, they ranged from photos that I took from high school till now. They had a wide variety. There was a couple photos from a house party. There was, photos from sporting events. There were photos of friends that I had model for me. Just different sorts of photos. But by the 20th portfolio, that's when Christina finally accepted me, and she asked me by the end of it. She's like, "What did you learn from this process?" And then I kind of had to really think about it, and then it clicked that what I think is my best isn't always gonna be my best.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, yeah, what you think is the most legit photo you have, it's not gonna be the most legit photo. Because you're pretty much putting that photo on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And then other people can come by and be like,
that's a piece of crap.
Yeah, it's shit.
Yeah.
Get that out of here. And even by my 20th portfolio, she was like, I saw about 3 photos that you should not have in there. And I was like,
wow.
Oh, wow.
Is that normal? I suspect it's normal for that critique.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. And if you pursue any career, it doesn't matter if you're an engineer, an artist, painter, mathematician, whatever. Your best isn't always going to be the best.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to go for more than the best. You have to to gun it for excellence, and you for me personally, I feel like I have to go through critiques. So I bring my photos to people. I'm like, hey, like, what do you think? And they'll tell me like, oh, like, I wouldn't do that or I wouldn't do this. And as stubborn as you may be, you will want to take those critiques and mold them around what your idea is. So that it appeals to you, and then it appeals to your viewer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it and doing it. So what's next after this? And I know you just got it, but what do you see yourself doing in the future after the band's internship?
So my ultimate goal is I really, really want to go into advertising, especially into photography, so pretty much product placement.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt like if I got this internship with Vans, it's just one step closer to my goal. So I'm just trying to work out another internship after this one, because this one ends in December. So I'm just like, all right, need to be on the lookout, keep updating my portfolio.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So you were also a freelance photographer.
Yeah, and right now, I still consider myself a freelance photographer. Yeah, it's a fun gig, the one day a bunch of, a lot of freelance photographers ultimately want to become professional and have their own studios.
Yeah, that's what you want to do in the future?
Yeah.
As well as advertising?
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring up a professor that I have right now. He's a professor, has his own studio, and is contracted by these companies to make, to shoot product for them. And, that's what I want to do. I want to have my own studio, and I want to have, these contracts with these companies that will be like, hey, like, here's our product, make it look good, and shoot it for us, and, and we'll run it through a magazine or something, and, you get paid well. So, and, as long as there's a mutual understanding that, that it needs to look good, I feel like you can take full creative direction over it, as long as it's, like, okay with whatever company hired you.
Yeah. Okay. You got this all figured out, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I've been wanting to do this since, since elementary school. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, I want to own my own skateboarding business, But in the back of my mind, I was always like, I want to do photography still.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stay true to photography no matter what.
And you have been.
Yeah. But there's always setbacks as a freelance photographer.
Like what?
Well, one of the biggest issues that me and a lot of other freelance photographers I know is people expect us to shoot for free. People will come up to us and be like, oh, can you shoot my charity event? Or can you shoot my band at this concert? We're opening for the Misfits. And, you'll be like, oh, yeah, sure, like, no problem. And then they're like, but can you do it for free? And then you're
yeah.
And then you're like, well, no.
What's your income?
That's pretty much me saying no to living.
Yeah.
And artists really are starving. Our equipment costs money, Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm looking to buy a new camera, and a lot of people have been approaching me, and they're like, oh yeah, can you shoot my daughter's, senior portraits? And I'm just like, yeah, sure, that'll be $100. And they're like, oh no, can you do it for free? I'm like, no, everyone has to pay the $100.
Yeah.
If your son wants portraits or whatever, that's $100. If you want me to shoot an event, that's $500.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not asking for too much, professional photographers are, where they're like, oh yeah, like it's $5,000 to $10,000 to shoot your wedding. You know, like
Yeah.
so I'm not necessarily trying to say, you know, as a freelance artist you should lowball yourself, but you gotta start small. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna charge $5,000 straight off the bat. You gotta build up. So
Yeah.
right now my prices are $100 and $500 plus a $50 deposit, and you know, you sign a one-time contract saying, you know, that I can either redistribute, resell, do anything to the photos that I shoot because I own
Because
them.
it's your
Because it's my intellectual property. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite event so far that you shot?
Oh man.
Event or collection of pictures or...
Oh man. I'd have to say it wasn't an event. It was actually more like a project. It was a book I was working on for a photography class I was in, and pretty much I was just focusing all on product photography, and the book, it came out pretty good, but I know that there's more I could work on. But aside from, you know, just like personal projects like that, I'd say my most favorite event that I shot was my uncle's wedding. You know, we lost my aunt to breast cancer in my freshman year in high school, and you know, my uncle didn't want to date for a couple years, as anyone would if their significant other passed away. But just last April, he remarried to a childhood friend.
Oh,
So that was
that's so cute.
that was yeah that was probably my most favorite event to shoot.
Yeah.
Just, you know, seeing my uncle, you know, light up and being able to capture that moment, you know, that was something special.
Yeah. You like captured it, like literally captured it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Cool. Anything else?
Shout out to BehindtheBirk for allowing me to come on.
Yeah, thank you so
And
much, Michael.
I wanna give a shout out to my friend Selena Solis for always being mean to me about my photos, because without that, I probably wouldn't have had the courage to ask Ryan and his wife to take me on.
Aww.
So thank you.
It's so sweet. Okay, catch Michael Denton doing his thing around the internet. Link to his photography website's gonna be in the description. Thank you, Michael, once again.
No problem. Thank you.